So what is Rookie Fund? Rookie Fund is the student-run venture capital who invests in the startup for the students project. The project is now working in Taiwan, Xiamen, and now tends to work in Hong Kong. So let's listen to her vision. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Stephanie Tang.
Thank you.
All yours.
Hi, everyone. You might be a little tired right now, right? It's Sunday morning. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. How many people here are under 35 years old? Under 35? Under? Let's see. Come on, you guys are under 35, right? You look under. How many people are over? Over. Okay. You guys are the older ones? Thank you. This lets me understand kind of the audience I'm talking to. So, hi Startup Thailand. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here and to get a chance to interact with all of you. My name is Stephanie Tang, and I'm here as one of the entrepreneurs under 35. So today, I'll be sharing a personal challenge that I face being under 35, especially here in Asia. Right? And I'll be sharing the action that you can take to address this challenge, and hopefully this is something that resonates or relates to all of you. Do you know what the biggest difference is between being under and over 35? Especially in Asia, and especially when it comes to entrepreneurship and startups? Respect. I think it's the amount of respect and opportunity that's given to you before a conversation even starts. And I think that's because in Asia, people really look at age. So I'm managing director at Rookie Fund, a small fund that I'm in charge of. But every time I go out and try to tell people that, when I'm like, hi, I'm managing director at Rookie Fund, they kind of look at me like, this, right? They kind of raise an eyebrow, like, okay. Or they do this. They look at me, and then they're like, they smile and they nod. Like, okay. And when I see that reaction, I think I know what's going on through their minds. They're thinking something like, oh, but you're so young. oh, but you're like a girl. You're a little girl, right? Who's your supervisor? Are you really in charge of this organization? Where's your boss? I want to talk to your boss. And then they're like, right? That's the kind of reaction I get. I don't know if you faced something like this before when you try to go out and talk to people. They're like, okay, right? If you've experienced that, I think that's a sort of imbalance in power. It's an imbalance. I think there is an equal respect between you and the other party, right? I feel like in those situations, if you're trying to do something, you're trying to do business, you're trying to propose something, you're trying to give a message, that you have to really fight to be heard. It's not that easy. They're zoning out. You see that hamster? We're all that hamster. Every day I'm hustling. If you're an entrepreneur and you need to go raise capital, maybe you experienced before. You are kind of the entity or the side that's in supply, and the VCs and the investors are in demand. So they're here, and you're here, right? You have to really fight and scramble just to even get the coffee meeting where you can pitch them your idea. And then maybe at the coffee meeting, you're only talking 2 minutes in, you're like, oh, and this is my business model. And then they're like, okay, well, thank you so much. I have to run. It's been nice, right? They don't even ask for your name card. And you're thinking, man, this is so difficult to achieve. And then here you are, and I don't even get a chance. You probably feel a little disappointed. You feel a little disrespected, and you feel like you were not given ample opportunity. Or maybe you're on the investor side. There might be some investors here today. Maybe your ticket size is a little smaller. So you see a team you really want to talk to, you approach them, and you're like, I want to invest in you guys. Here's my name card. I'm an angel, right? It might be your private money. And the startup might be like, oh, what's your ticket size, 20,000? Well, I'm raising a Series A, and I'm trying to do 2 million round, and I just need to go find someone with more capital. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Might have experienced that before. Or maybe some of you here today are government officials, or you work for Startup Thailand, and you have some KPIs you need to fulfill, right? You have a job to do. So you need to go talk to these startups and these investors, and you're trying to finish your task. But maybe you've got this feeling where you think the person is not too interested in what you have to say. Maybe they look at you and they think, they're a government official or they're a part of the team. They probably don't know what they're talking about because they're not in the industry. Do you feel that kind of imbalance between you and the other person? The other party in all of these scenarios has more power, and they're not giving you a chance to express yourself. Well, the thing I kind of want to drive home today, which is the reality of this world that we live in, here's the punchline. If you cannot quickly provide value, you or your business or your endeavor or whatever you're trying to do, it's going to fail. You're not going to succeed. In situations where the deciding power is held in the hands of others, you have to provide value to earn their respect, gain that power, and then open opportunities for yourself, right? It's actually a fight. It's actually some sort of a battle between you and the other person. Today, I want to talk about 3 ways to add value, or at least improve on how to add value as an individual. So you might not be running a company. It could just be you, yourself, and how to present yourself to people, okay? But first, let me actually just introduce what I do, since you might be like, oh, who's this person standing on stage talking to me right now? My name is Stephanie Tang. I recently was on Forbes 30 Under 30 alongside Jenny and Pranat, and we met in Israel earlier this month. I run Rookie Fund. So what's Rookie Fund? Rookie Fund is a student-run venture capital fund that invests in the best student entrepreneurs across Asia. How it works is each year we actually recruit a student cohort. So this is our Taiwan team. We currently operate out of Taiwan and Xiamen. And we teach these students how to angel invest. Very, very basic, right? But we give them an idea. And then after they learn from us in a very short amount of time, we throw them into the water. We're like, okay, now go find the best deals out there. They're like struggling a lot. They have to go deal source. They have to evaluate the teams. And we give them the capital and the mentorship needed for them to actually invest in 2 student startups every year. So this year, for Taiwan, we just invested in our first investment of the year, and these students found a student-run startup in Taiwan that does AI chatbot algorithms. Right? So they're called H3O. You can look them up. We're very, very excited to be partnering with them. But my story that I want to share today has to do with one of these people. I'm not going to embarrass him, so I'm not going to say who it is. But this student recently told me a story. He reached out to me and said, Steph, I found out the team that we just invested in, their CEO used to be in consulting. After I graduate, I'm a junior right now, but after I graduate, I want to go into consulting. So I actually emailed him and asked him to give me a referral. I wanted him to give me a job referral, right? He told me, if you can impress me on a phone call, I'd be happy to make the referral for you. But he's like, Steph, I failed. I couldn't impress him, and he's unwilling to talk further with me on this subject. Can you give me some advice? My response to him was, well, you know, how many case studies have you done? How many case studies have you practiced to go into consulting? And to my surprise, his response was, oh, what is a case study? What's a case study? Okay, so some of you might know, some of you might not. But if you want to enter consulting, the first thing you need to do is download some case studies and practice the shit out of them. I don't know if I can cuss, sorry. Practice them a lot, right? If you Google, how do I go into consulting? The first thing that pops up is case study interview, how to practice case study. He didn't even take the time to do that. If you're not going to do that, how do you expect someone in the industry to refer you? What is making you, what's giving you that entitlement? This brings me to my first point. The first way to provide value or add value, especially when you're requesting something from other people, is to be prepared, okay? Do the research. Spend the time needed to make sure you're in a place to ask something. What kind of research do you need to do? You need to research the person you're talking to. This sounds a little creepy. My first job was in headhunting. You need to do due diligence on them. Look up their Facebook, look up their LinkedIn, look up what previous jobs they've done, research their hobbies, find something you have in common, do like the weird, crazy stalker thing on them, okay? You have to do it because that's kind of respecting the fact that they're giving you their time. Research the person. Also, research the subject you're talking about. So if I was the student investor I talked to you about just now, I would research the CEO of the company, his background, and then I would research everything I need to do about consulting. I would make sure I'm really, really prepared to enter the field before I even ask him for the referral, right? Something that I see in Asia, I don't know if it happens in the States, I've never worked there, sorry, but something that happens in Asia is a lot of vendors who need to sell to their clients, they don't write a proposal for the first meeting. So I used to work at a big corporation, and a lot of vendors would come to us trying to pitch their products, right? And what they would do is they would show up without a proposal and then expect there to be a second meeting. Guess what? There isn't going to be one because you're not prepared. If you're trying to ask a VC for money, make sure the VC is actually someone that invests in your industry. Make sure the partner is the right person or the right contact window to talk to for your vertical. These are all things you really, really need to do. Otherwise, you're kind of not respecting them. At my last corporate job, I know the logo's on there so you know where I work now. I was asked by a lot of other departments to help them host events that they were going to throw. It's not within my scope of responsibility, right? So it's not my job to help them. But I went out of my way, and I really had to work my ass off to do these extra gigs. One emceeing job led to another, and after a while, I was emceeing a lot of projects. This not only helped my working relationship with my colleagues, but actually it ended up leading me to my current job. So my boss attended one of our events, and then he asked me out for coffee, and then he was like, hey, do you want to work for us? My point of this is when you're in a position of power to help someone else, the last one was when they were in a position of power to help you, right? Second point, when you're asking for help, or when you're able to provide help, please be kind. What does that mean? It means that if the opposite party is younger in experience, that you don't disrespect them. Please give them a chance to show themselves or show what they have to offer. Please think about this not in terms of what am I gaining right now, but know that whatever you're offering them is going to help mold them and shape them, and that your kindness will be remembered and rewarded in the long run. That's what I learned when I got this amazing job offer just by helping other people. Sorry, Shutterstock image, but last story I want to share is about basketball. So long story short, I moved to Taiwan when I was told from Hong Kong. I didn't know any Chinese, any Mandarin. I was a new girl in school, right? I really, really liked to play basketball. So when I heard that there was a basketball club, I wanted to make sure I joined. You got to fill in your top 3 at a basketball, computer club, and then arts and crafts. But when the list came out, I wasn't in basketball. And when I went to figure out why that was, it's because all the ones who got in were guys. It was like 50 guys. So I went to Jiao Guan. Jiao Guan's the person in charge of extracurricular activities and discipline. I was like, Jiao Guan, why am I not in the basketball class? Please, please, let me play basketball. This is my way of trying to fit in. And he said, well, they're all guys, so you're a girl. You can't play. Go talk to the coach. The story is, back and forth it went. Finally, I found someone who was willing to switch with me, and I joined the basketball club. I was the only girl. I was horrible compared to everyone else, but I really worked my ass off, and in the end, we actually made championships. The story I want to talk about in this example is just that whatever it is you're trying to achieve, it's going to take a lot of persistence. You're going to have to keep going at it. Be persistent after facing rejection. Refine how you can add value. In my case, I found someone to switch with me, right? And then try again. So these are the 3 things I just want to hone home today. If you want to add value, you want to earn the respect that is so difficult to attain in Asia because you're looked down on for your age. Be prepared, be kind, and be resilient and persistent. I hope that if you're facing some challenges today, you're a little burnt out, that this talk can just remind you that we're all on the same boat, and even if we're on the Forbes list, we're still facing a lot of discrimination every day when we try to go out, fundraise, create partnerships, and you're not alone. And hopefully, a little bit of my experience can help you in your endeavors as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your vision. I believe now we would all be prepared. And thank you for your exclusive suggestion.